Good news for buyers for the rest of the year, and honestly, even probably into 2026 as well. Interest rates are lower, affordability has definitely improved, and if you're a first time buyer, you don't got to pay GST on any new build home. That right there is crazy. In light of this, a lot of people, specifically first time buyers, are considering jumping into a brand new unit for their first home instead of finding something on the resale market. And this makes sense. When you run the numbers a lot of the time, it's going to be the same price to get into either property, so why not go with something brand new? So let's break it down. Here's the full process explained for buying a pre-sale unit in BC from start to finish. Before we get started, I'm Matt. I'm local to Abbotsford and the Fraser Valley. If you're into local tips, market updates, and smart strategies for buying or selling in the Fraser Valley, hit subscribe. This channel is all about keeping you one step ahead. So the first step in buying a pre-sale project is finding a presale. Not every development is created equal. That's why having a professional in your corner really helps, especially with this step. I'll look at the developer overall, their track record, their past projects, and also the area where the new development is being built. Is the neighborhood growing? Are there parks, schools, transit nearby? These things matter because they'll affect your quality of life and obviously your resale value later. Step number 2, once we've identified a project you're interested in, the next step is to go visit the presentation center. Also called a sales center, this is where you'll find floor plans, pricing structures, and usually even a show suite that gives you a good idea of what the end product is going to look like. It's a great way to compare layouts, prices, upgrades, and helps you decide what's worth paying for and what's not. Step 3, preparing an offer. After you've picked your area and the unit itself, we draft an offer. Something to note with this step is that you're not using the standard real estate contract that you would use for a resale property. Developers usually use their own contracts and they can sometimes be pretty lengthy, full of technical jargon and a lot of other stuff you'd never really read about unless you were a real estate agent. My job is to help you go through it point by point and point out any red flags to make sure you know exactly what you're signing. Step 4, deposits. Once your offer is accepted by the developer, you'll usually pay a deposit. Deposit structures can take a ton of different forms. I've seen as low as 5% of the purchase price upfront and that's it, and I've also on the high end seen up to 20% split over several months. Regardless of what developer you go with and their specific deposit structure, from the moment your offer is accepted, you're going to get what's called a 7-day rescission period. That means you have 7 full days to walk away, no questions asked, if you've changed your mind. Step 5 isn't really a step, it's just more of a waiting game. The building itself could take 2, 3, or even 4 years to complete. During that time, you may have additional deposit payments depending on the deposit structure of the developer, but otherwise you don't really need a mortgage until close to the project being completed. That being said, I personally always recommend getting a firm approval in place before you even sign the contract. Big name banks like RBC and TD can offer these, and they can lock in your full approval for up to 48 months. That means that if your situation changes, you get a new job, or maybe even the market dips, you're protected at least in that way. The positive caveat to that is if interest rates drop before completion, it still gives you the option to shop around for a better rate. Think of it as like a safety net that gives you a lot more certainty. Last step, step 6, and this is my personal favorite, completion day. When the building is finally done, that's when you finalize your mortgage, close on the property, and get the keys. And remember, if you're a first-time buyer, you don't pay GST on closing. That's a massive savings that is making pre-sales a lot more appealing and affordable for specifically first-time buyers right now in the market here in the Valley. And that's the entire process of buying a pre-sale unit here in the Valley. From finding the right project to signing the contract to finally getting your keys years later. Thanks for watching, but before you go, if you want me to send you some of the best pre-sale opportunities I've found and already personally vetted right to your inbox, there's a link below where you can sign up. And as always, hit like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Remember, I'm local here to Abbotsford. I know this market. I do it day in and day out, and I'd love to keep you up to date and answer any questions. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm Matt, and I'm bringing you down to earth.